So if you follow my channel, you know that a while back I was having a black bearded algae problem with this tank right here, my planted community tank. And that algae pretty much is gone. There's little bits of it on some of the anubias, but for the most part, I would say that black algae is no longer an issue of concern in this 55-gallon tank. So what happened exactly? Let's talk about it. So of course, when you bring up the topic of algae, there were a lot of suggestions. Less light, more light, lower intensity light, higher intensity light, phosphates, more water changes, so many suggestions. And a lot of them made sense. And I think at the end of the day, if I had to say one thing was the primary reason why it's gone, it really comes back to that word that we come back to so often on this channel, which is patience. When you first put the plants in, there's this struggle for space, this struggle for claiming territory by every possible organism that's getting established in the tank. And one of those organisms, or several of those types of organisms, happen to be in the algae family. And so you'll get some brown algae, some green algae, some black algae. They're just, if the nutrients are there for them, they're going to go ahead and thrive. And those nutrients can include light and phosphates, ammonia, nitrates, things of that nature. So over time, yes, I added phosphate pads. That might have worked in reducing the phosphates, which are a key ingredient for brown and black algae. I guess all plants really love phosphates when you think about it. So I put some phosphate pads in. I was doing water changes, 25% water changes. I still do them, not quite as frequently, not every week, but I am still doing water changes. I think really in looking it over, removing any parts of the plant that were heavily covered, so that I would remove chunks of the black algae all at once, like cutting off an entire leaf on a stem on a sword, on an Amazon sword, or one of the large leaves on an anubias, just cutting it off and taking it out. And also, I think it has a lot to do, and I think you'll agree with me on this, with the continually adding plants, because those plants now are competing for the nutrients that the black algae and the brown algae that they were competing for, that they were going for. And so as the plants became more and more established, they outcompeted the black algae for those nutrients. And plus, with me removing chunks of black algae wholesale by cutting sections of plants off and taking them out of the tank. So I mean, some people said don't add the fertilizers, especially don't add the co-op easy green. I kept adding it throughout the entire process, and I didn't see how that could. I mean, I know it contains a little bit of phosphate in there. In looking it over, I thought it would help more than hurt. So I kept adding the liquid fertilizer, and I kept using the root tabs and around where I was planting plants. But if you look at the tank now, it probably has twice as many plants as when I first got started. Plus you have some plants that have really taken hold, really become well established, and I just think that they are out competing with they're just beating out the algae that is trying to get a hold on the plants, on the surfaces, on the glass, everywhere else. So what do you think? You watched this progress. I mean, you watched the progress. You saw the early videos. You saw how bad it was. What do you think? What do you think is why it has more or less gone away or become an issue of far less concern in the aquarium. Water changes, phosphate pads, reduced light, more plants competing for the nutrients, phosphate pads. What do you think? What do you think is the reason? Removing sections that had black algae and allowing the rest of the plant that was clean to now become more established and stronger. So comment below, tell me what you think about it. Why do you think I'm winning the battle? And I'd love to hear it. We all learn from each other on this channel. And I really appreciate you tuning in. And certainly if you like this channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell, give it a thumbs up, let YouTube know something good's going on, and consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon monthly supporter. Starts for as little as $3 a month. Details are in the description below the video. Every little bit helps in the ongoing projects in this fish room. Thank you, my friends. You're the best. I'll look forward to reading your comments. Bye-bye.